Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over my process of building this fun little dragon palace that I built during my final exam season. Let's get started. So to start off, I'm going to be doing some very quick GoBrush terrain. The theme for this build was basically me going as fast as possible with everything. Because of having to write final exams, I wanted to do a build but have it be fairly simple and easy. So GoBrush allows me to make this terrain super easily and I love it. If you're not familiar with GoBrush, I have a tutorial on this channel. I'm going to be replacing on an angle to get some grass and just coming over here to create a little painting that we can then paste into the terrain. If you're not familiar with any of these painting techniques, I also have a tutorial on that. I love the effect that this gives to our little mountain here. Now we're going to start on our wireframing. Now this is going to be a very important step because for this build I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. I had a rough inspirational image that I was going off of, but I wasn't following it exactly, so I needed to do my wireframing to make sure I had a good idea of what was going on. Now that my wireframing is in, I can start solidifying some of the structure. I start out with the round base and then move on to one of the roofs, as well as the base for our main tower that's going to be on this palace. Going with diamond blocks mainly and building up our quartz pillars. I used quite a variety of blocks in this build and I like the contrast that they ended up providing. To break up my circle shapes in the middle here, I go with a square section of the tower and then more circles right on the top. I want to bring in some dark oak wood to border our edges around some of our main areas, such as these circle structures on the bottom, as well as some of our other tower structures and some of our walls. I really like the contrast that this provides and it really makes the build stand out. We're adding a lot of detail to this tower. I kind of built very sporadically, just whenever I got an idea I jumped to that section, so you'll notice in the video I'm kind of jumping around quite a bit, not really building in any particular order, just going as I'm inspired. I end up adding a roof to the top here, but then taking it off because this just makes it a little bit too top heavy with that top one being so large, so placing a smaller one instead made that look a lot better. Want to try to get lots of balance with my shapes here. Now that I've got the main shapes of the tower in place, I can replace out those diamond blocks with the prismarine and start worrying about some of the other details. Like for example this tower that's breaking up our circle down here. I'm bordering it with that same dark oak wood to be consistent throughout and adding a cute little window to the tower. Then I'm going to be adding some stone brick pillars, and the sponge will eventually be replaced out to the stone slabs, which is the ID 43-8. Adding some bushes along the edge and then moving back over to our little triangle structure over here. I love the large windows in the structure, and although it looks a little bit top heavy, it's not too bad and I quite like the details that I added to it. The large windows make it look very palace-like and elegant. I'm going to continue adding lots of details to this build as we work our way up this tower. Now that that side is done, we're going to be moving over to the other side where we're building another one of these triangle-shaped structures. This one, because it's on the back, has a balcony which I added some cool little supports to with the quartz in the bottom. The quartz in this build is just being used for the pillars and not for details, which I found was something that really helped to bring out all the colors in this build quite a bit. We're adding some details to the roof to finish it off, and then we're going to be moving to a tower to finish off this side. Kind of break up those triangle shapes, add a little bit more, and bring some of the prismarine down to this area. I really like the way that this little tower turned out, and I end up pasting one on the other side as well. For consistency, we're adding that same window into this tower as well. Now we can start on the back side, which is going to connect to our bridge. So we're going to be building another one of these smaller triangle structures to be the entranceway, so you would exit from the palace to walk across the bridge to the tower that's on the other side. The tower also needs to be wireframed, so at first I started with some very square shapes, going with kind of the same detail pattern as I did in the square spot on the palace on the other side. This helps keep consistency throughout the build, and I just really like those details. They are simple, but they work. And repeating my details not only helps with consistency, but also helps to speed up the building process quite a lot, which is important when I have exams to write at this time of year. Moving up to the top section of the tower, I'm trying to make it consistent but not too repetitive. So I end up adding some windows here that end up being it's a little too repetitive. So I go back and change them a little further along in the video. For the bridge, I do some 5x5 pillars with some archways. It was difficult to figure out how I wanted to do the detailing here, but I ended up with going these double archways, and I think they turned out really nice. I did them with quartz at first, but after getting a second opinion, I realized that I wanted to keep my pillars being quartz and my details being the stone brick, so I changed them out to stone brick. Now we're going to be working back at the top section here, and then jumping down to the bottom of our bridge. See, I put this build in my Discord server to ask for some opinions, so if you aren't in there and you don't like something about this build, a good opportunity to give me some advice or critique is to join there when I post my builds. And some of the critique that I got was to fix the bottom of these pillars to make them look a bit more supportive. So this is what I decided to do. Then we move back up to the top to continue detailing the lone tower that's over on this side. Once this tower is complete, we can begin on building some trees. I went with quite a variety of trees for this area, some spruce, some willow, and some dark oak trees. And to speed up my time, I actually used some of the trees from a tutorial that I did earlier on this channel. I also used some dragons that you will recognize from my Dragon Islands video. I dragged them in, changed their colors, and adjusted their body just a little bit so that I could paste 2 of them into this build. And I think they fit very nicely with this build. They're the right size, and because I don't have to build them again, it really helped me save on time. Now I'm just going to be adding some finishing details to this area, some trees around this support, a willow tree on top of that tower, which I love the way that looks integrated in with the structure. Now that that's done, I'm going to be adding some beaches around this island. I wanted this castle to look very isolated. Then we're going to be pasting our trees around. Once all of our trees are in, all we have to do is paste in our dragons and then it is done. I hope you guys enjoyed this build as much as I did. Although it was rather stressful to create in such a small frame of time, it was still so much fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!